Okay, welcome to the second part of free crash course on inside sales. So, in the first part, we understood what inside sales are, what kind of activities are there, and we also learn about all these fancy terms. Now, in the second part, we will mainly talk about the tools which gets used in inside sales. And this is very interesting part because you will come to know there is so much to learn in inside sales. It's against the conventional thinking or against the conventional notion that inside sales is all about just talking to your clients. You will see now the sales has evolved as science, as evolved as series of steps that you do everything right in every step, then only you would lead to the sales closure. And that's what I am trying to give you a glimpse. So, without any further delay, let's deep dive into that. So, in roughly 10 to 12 minutes, now I will talk about the different kind of steps which are involved in inside sales and the tools which you use to do the activity in those steps. So let's go through one example. It would make things very interesting. And what can be a better example than my own company, Hubcredo? So when you talk about any company, there are three things which are important. And you can use acronym like WWH. So the first one is what, and what actually goes to what you are selling. Okay, and in our case, Hubcredo, we provide sales as a service to other companies. And when we say sales as a service, it's basically like giving trained resources in inside sales to the other companies to build their sales pipeline. Now, the second part of WWH is again W, which means who. And this is again very important because if you don't know whom you are selling or who is going to buy your products or services, then it becomes very difficult to build a business. So in our case of Hubcredo, we target startups, in the small and medium enterprises outside India, okay, and has certain attributes like they have employee strength less than say like a 30, they don't have proper sales team, they don't have proper inside sales executive in their team, and they can see the value of outsourcing or inside sales activities to us. Now the third part is how you are going to reach out to these clients. Okay, how you are going to make your company visible to them. So this is the how part. We cannot cover everything in this crash course. Just want to give you a broad idea here. So let's revisit it again. So now imagine you are working as inside sales of Hubcredo, and you have to sell our services to the prospective clients. From where you will start? So the first thing what you are going to do is identify the right companies who can become our clients. Okay, and that is like a good step to start. If you don't know whom you want to sell, you cannot do anything, right? So after that, once you identify the right companies, then you will see in that company whom you can approach for our services. It can be CEO of the company, it can be head of sales because it is related with sales activities, right? So head of sales can be good profile. And why I'm saying CEO and head of sales? Because we are targeting a very small company within like a 20, within employees strength of 20. So these people can be like a decision makers for our services. Now, once you identify those profiles, the next thing what you do is you extract their contacts in terms of their email ID, their phone number, their LinkedIn URL. Because remember, we are not going to visit their offices or meet them physically. Everything we want to do through digital channels. So these contact details will help us to reach out to them. Once you get that data, of course, the next step would be you will reach out to them through different digital channels. It can be email, it can be through LinkedIn, or it can be your old proven calling method. Now, once you outreach to them, you will see some responses. There are clients who will never respond to you. There are clients who will say no to you. Then there are few clients who would be agreeing, showing some interest. And in that case, as a next step, you will actually schedule the meeting with them. So overall, when you are doing all these activities, you will also do the reporting and as well as use a software called customer relationship management, where you will capture all these data, all these activities all together so that anybody can refer it. So we talked about initially we are going to identify the right companies and the right profiles, extract their contacts. Okay. And this is like a foundation of inside sales. We call it also lead database preparation. And this is the first time when you will get introduced to tools, because without tools, you cannot do this work. It's not like, okay, you are going to sell your product to your friend or your relative, right? So as we discussed in the beginning, we will identify the right companies and the right profiles who can become like our customers, right? Now, to identify those, basically you need prospecting tools or database platform where you can go put your criteria and then can extract the list of the companies or the list of the people who fits into that criteria. And there are plenty of tools available. These tools are like a different in certain way, but overall you can think of, you go to a particular prospecting tool, say like a LinkedIn Sales Navigator, they have certain filters to they give you certain filters basis you can select the right companies or populate the right list of the companies. Then in those companies, then you can, based on the designation, you can select the right people or right profiles of people. Okay. And that's what this database platform gives. The very famous one is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So please mind, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is different than LinkedIn. It is a paid service. Mostly as a student, you would not have used it. Then there are other tools like Apollo.io, which has like now become a unicorn. Then Zoom Info is another example. SalesQL is another example. When you are talking about startups data or investors data, then Crunchbase is very important. So lot of database tools are there. There are some slight differences between these platforms. Some gives you particular set of data, some gives you different kind of filters, but overall you can just imagine them as a database platform. Now, once you get the targeted companies and then the profiles, the next step comes is extracting the contact records of those profiles. And that's where again some tools you need to use. So you would have seen, like in LinkedIn, you can see anybody's profile. But did you ever check whether you can get his phone number or email ID from LinkedIn? It's very difficult because generally people keep this information hidden and they don't want to make it public. So that's where tools like Apollo.io, Zoom Info, SalesQL, Rocket Reach, Lusa kind of tools come into the picture. These tools have the capability that based on the person's LinkedIn profile or given the name of the company and name of the person, it will give you the email ID, it will give you phone numbers. So that kind of information they can provide you. So till now, if you will see, we have covered these two important steps: identifying the right companies, right profile, and extracting their information. Now we will move to the next step, how to reach out to them. And that is again very interesting because it looks like simple methods like, okay, you can send it somebody email, somebody LinkedIn message. But think about when you're doing it at volume, can you do it all together manually? It will become a nightmare. Okay. Why I'm telling it? Just think about, if I tell you today, for getting the job, you have to email to 100 recruiters every day for next 15 days. And at the same time, you just don't have to send one email, but at least two emails to these recruiters. And then if I put additional condition that you have to send your second email just after 3 working days of the first email. So now you start seeing the complexity of the volume and maintaining some kind of schedule, right? And that's where these kind of tools again started coming into picture, which makes your life easy. It also gives you a lot of flexibility and lot of help in terms of running your campaign to reach out to these clients. But even before reaching out to these clients through these digital channels like email, LinkedIn, or even calling, what you need to do first is develop content for these kind of channels, right? When you are sending an email to a recruiter, you cannot just send anything, right? You have to develop a good drafted email where you will talk about your qualification, you will talk about the job role you are applying, how you are suitable for that role, right? So similarly, when you are selling any company's product or services, you first have to draft the email in a manner that it should attract the attention of the recipients. And that's where the content development becomes important part and actually immediate step after you have the leads database. You don't only do it for email, you always also do it for your LinkedIn messages. You also do it for your calling, because without a script, if you will call, many times you will fumble. So you should know what you are going to talk about within, say, like 30 seconds of your call. If they are putting some objections, if they are asking you questions, you need to prepare those answers beforehand. Otherwise, the calling will also go very haphazard. Then you also develop some contents which will go along with email or go along with LinkedIn. And that's where examples of case studies are very relevant. Suppose Hubcredo has served some other client and has given fantastic results to them. So that can become a very good case study to approach similar kind of clients. So you develop a good case study in terms of content, in terms of design, and then send it to prospective clients. Now, many of you would be thinking that this is related with content writing skills. But unless you don't know the best practices of writing this content, and as well as there are few tools which is always there to help you, your job is really going to be difficult. So that's where I am going to introduce few new tools to you. So when we talk about content related with inside sales, so take example of email drafts. So they are very good frameworks which people have developed, which help you to structure your email in the right way and get more responses from your prospective clients. So there is one framework called like AIDA: attention, interest, desire, action. Okay. So basically you structure the entire draft of your email considering these 4 components. And in my full course on inside sales, we give at least 2 classes on email writing because it is so important. It really separate you out from the entire crowd. Now, For writing these kind of drafts, now there are tools available which you can always use that. So example is like ChatGPT. You guys must have used it, right? So in the course, I am going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to write good emails or at least get some foundation of your emails from ChatGPT. I am not telling that you just get it from ChatGPT and copy paste it, but it can give you a very good beginning or a very good starting draft. And then you can work on that to build it better. Then there are other tools like copy.ai, which is again very good copywriting tool for emails, uh, for different kind of content marketing. Now, when we talk about case studies, so you have to develop it with good design, and that's where tools like Canva becomes very, very important. So in our course, we also teach you basics of Canva, how you can use Canva to build a very good design content. So till now, we have covered who to reach, how to get their contact details, and then prepare the content which can be utilized to reach out to them. Now comes the most important part. This is the time you have to reach out to your clients, and you are going to use different channels like email, LinkedIn, or say like a calling. Now, as I told you, if you are going to do it manually, it becomes a nightmare. The kind of numbers they give it to you to do on daily basis, you cannot do it manually. And many times these tasks are so repetitive that if you are doing it manually, basically you will feel bored. And that's where these tools again come into the picture. So when we talk about email, then we use various kind of email campaigns tool. And I can say there are almost like more than 100 email campaign tools which exist in the market. Okay. Now, few example of these tools are Apollo.io, HubSpot is very good email campaign tool, New Reply, and then every month you would be seeing one or two new email campaign tools coming into the market. So this also tells even the market is crowded, people are ready to use the new tools for certain features and all, and that's what makes this email campaign tool very interesting. It may be possible that you are using some particular X tool now, but within 6 months you will see that you are using some another tool because it has some better features. Okay. Now talking about the LinkedIn campaign tools, again there are tools available like Expandi, DuckSoup, and then Lemlist, which can help you to automate the entire process of sending connection requests, sending them messages, sending them follow-up messages. But here one word of caution is LinkedIn is very particular about this kind of automation and against that. So these tools always evolve in terms of the daily limits. You can send the messages through these kind of tools. They always update it accordingly. Now talking about the calling tools, uh, you cannot just take your phone and start calling the people. When you are working in a company, they want that your calls to be recorded so that they understand your interactions. They can give your feedback. They can do the quality check on your conversation, right? So for that, then again, they will give you some tool. HubSpot has their own telephony system. Twilio is very, very famous or popular outside India. Then there are some new tools for startups like Call Hippo. So we almost came up to like a 70% of the entire part. Now, once you do the outreach and some clients are interested to schedule the meeting, so that's where you use some scheduling tool where like you give them an option to see the slots and book the meeting for you. And that's where you use tools like Calendly or say like Google Calendar invite you send them. Okay. You do the meeting through tools like Zoom, Microsoft Team, Hangout, Google Hangout, WebEx. So depending on the client and your company's preference, you choose a particular tool and then do your meeting digitally. And now we have come to the last part. And I know that you already bogged down with all these kind of different tools, but this is what make this inside sales powerful. So the last part is you are doing all these activities, but without reporting or without reports, you can never know what areas you need to improve, where you need to more focus on. Okay. And then at the same time, everything, each steps need to be documented. How many clients you called, how many responded, how many then did the meeting. All these things need to be captured somewhere. And that's where you use tools like CRM, which is called Customer Relationship Management Software, where you put all this data. Sometimes this data automatically gets captured by integrating with other tools you are using, and sometimes you do it manually. But this CRM part is very important because it helps any company to keep track of all the efforts they are making in terms of sales. So that's where CRMs, customer relationship management software, come into the picture, where you put all the records of all the sales activities you are doing. Sometimes it gets captured automatically by getting integrated with other tools you are using, or sometimes you have to do it manually or fill it manually. Okay. So there are plenty of CRM tools available in the market. Most famous or most popular are, say, like Salesforce, HubSpot, our Joho is also very popular. Then there are some new age CRMs like Pipedrive and all is also there. Now, any company can choose a particular CRM depending on their need, depending on their budget. But basically, all these CRMs functionalities are same. If you are comfortable with one CRM, you can learn another CRM very quickly. Okay. So that's what I tried to cover everything very quickly, just to give you a glimpse the kind of tools we use in inside sales. I know I have covered so many things very quickly here, but it was just to give you an overview about the different kind of tools which gets used in inside sales. And this is what actually makes the work also very interesting. Don't get worried if you learn one tool in a particular bucket. Learning similar tools are easy. Okay. So you don't think that if you have learned HubSpot and now suppose a client is asking or your company is asking you to switch to Joho, you will struggle. It's not like that. Fundamentals are same, basic functionalities are same. So switching is always not that much big task. Interesting thing is learning these tools make you way ahead than other candidates. And this is what our core focus in our inside sales course. We give sufficient amount of time to make you learn one of these tools, give you hands-on experience, make you work on some live clients project. As you know, I run my own company, Hubcredo, where we have like a lot of clients. So there is no dearth of live client projects. We are not talking about giving you theoretical knowledge. You would learn by doing things here. So with that, now we can move to the third part of our free crash course, where I am going to touch upon how you can create a good resume, how you can find out the right jobs, what is the way to apply to them, and how you can actually stand out among other candidates by following certain things and also avoiding certain mistakes. I hope you are enjoying this crash course, and I also hope that it is going to help you in finding a good job in inside sales. Thank you.